This is Cronkite News.
We have to get the schools open. We have to get everything open. A lot of people don't want to do that for political reasons, not for other reasons.
Some states are hitting pause on reopening in light of the recent COVID-19 surge. Plus, as Black Lives Matter protests continue, supporters are finding new ways to participate from afar.
And I thought, why don't I do it with baseball? But instead of like a cricket person reacting to baseball, I would be the baseball person reacting to cricket.
A former Diamondbacks player turned YouTube star. His story and more, next.
Cronkite News starts now.
Welcome to this Cronkite News Update. I'm Jalpan Nanavati. This morning, Arizona reported a new daily high of 97 deaths, plus over 3,200 additional cases. These numbers bring the state's total to over 131,000 cases and over 2,400 fatalities. According to Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. is approaching 3.5 million cases, with the worst spikes occurring across the South and Southwest. In light of the recent COVID surge, at least 27 states are pausing or rolling back plans to reopen.
California, Florida, Arizona, and Texas. They're seeing record numbers of cases, mostly, interestingly, among young individuals.
Dr. Fauci went on to say the rise is likely linked to the lifting of restrictions in those states, pointing out that young people were seen in crowded bars without masks, which only, quote, adds fuel to the fire. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, hospital data on coronavirus patients will now be rerouted to the Trump administration instead of first being sent to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Michael Caputo, the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the department, confirmed the change first reported by the New York Times earlier in the day. The Times said, quote, the database that will receive new information is not open to the public, which could affect the work of scores of researchers, modelers, and health officials who rely on CDC data to make projections on crucial decisions. Today, former CDC Acting Director Dr. Richard Besser said rerouting hospital data is a, quote, step backwards for the country's coronavirus response. This morning, officials in Arizona State spoke about a new saliva-based testing kit they developed. The saliva diagnostic test requires patients to spit into a screw-top tube through a straw, which is easier than the nose swab. Currently, they're able to conduct between 700 to 800 tests in a 4-hour time period. But ASU is aiming to be able to conduct 1,200 to 1,400 tests a day, with the ultimate goal being to test 16,000 patients a day. The saliva test results are sent to state and federal government for counting.
By doing saliva collection, we can use any volunteers pretty much to collect samples, which means that the medical personnel, the nurses that we were using before, can really focus on taking care of patients and not spend their time in parking lots collecting samples.
The medical professionals also stress the importance of taking safety precautions and avoiding large events and gatherings. A key model of projected COVID-19 deaths now forecasts nearly 250,000 fatalities in the US by November 1st. The model from University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation projected more than 208,000 deaths by the start of November last week. Now, the model is projecting 224,000 deaths by that time. The increase is due to the skyrocketing number of coronavirus cases across parts of the country. Health officials are specifically pointing to the upsurge in cases in Arizona, Florida, Texas, and California. They say the best strategy right now might be a mask mandate, which they believe could save more than 40,000 lives in the US between now and November. New research shows the virus can get on the front of masks and live on them for several days. Homemade cloth masks can hold the virus for 2 days. That's why the CDC recommends rotating your mask and cleaning it frequently. A professor at the University of Arizona Public Health College also suggests using bleach when washing cloth masks. And she told us, one perk to Arizona temperatures is the heat. It can kill off the virus faster.
So most of us in the general public are wearing cloth masks or comfort masks, homemade masks, things like that. And different materials in those masks actually are less friendly to the virus, if you will. So the virus actually dies off a little bit quicker in fabric cloth masks in a matter of about 5 days. So if you can leave your cloth mask and have enough masks to rotate that they can decontaminate themselves after 5 days, that can work. And so the high temperatures outside and even in your car can kill the virus on the mask. So in just about 5 minutes at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, the virus can be killed off.
She went on to say protective shields are becoming more popular for workers on the front lines and the public. but the gaps in the shield mask make them less effective than masks.
So face shields are really popular too. And one of the things that face shields are less effective because they have more gaps around the face. So the shield can really protect aerosols from coming into contact or being released into the environment. But they don't necessarily protect the wearer as much as a face mask would, because you're kind of sealing off these sites where the virus and the aerosols can be released or can get into contact with your eyes, nose, or your mouth.
Another tip she offered is to make sure you create the best seal around your nose while wearing masks. You can do that by pinching around your nose to tighten the seal. And finally, she's asking the general public to save surgical and N95 masks for healthcare workers due to mask shortages. Attention shoppers! Walmart customers all around the United States will be required to wear masks beginning next week. Walmart is now the largest retailer of mandate facial coverage during the pandemic. The company plans to enforce this new policy by stationing health ambassadors next to the entrance to make sure shoppers follow the requirement. Mexico is extending restrictions on its border with the US for the third time. Under the new extension, non-essential travel is restricted until August 21st. That policy has been in place since March 21st. It permits essential travel. The move comes after Mexico's president said the coronavirus pandemic is losing intensity. Cases are still spiking in some states that share a border with Mexico, like Texas and Arizona. Sources in Canada's government say leaders there are also planning to extend restrictions on its border with the US. As thousands of protesters hit the streets demanding change and recognition that Black Lives Matter, they faced some tough conditions, marching in the midst of a pandemic while also enduring soaring temperatures. So some protesters have found a new way to help out. They're putting together care packages for protesters, a unique way to also participate, they say, in the movement.
Saria El-Hibber is an ASU student who has collected donations to provide supplies for demonstrators. With the help of her friends and a call to action on social media, she has collected more than $800 to purchase essential items for those hitting the streets in protest. Items including safety equipment.
I wanted also everyone to be protected, and I didn't want anyone going out there like not with the right supplies just in case stuff did go bad really fast.
Small packs with water and snacks have also been distributed at different stations prior to the start of the protest or during.
Everyone usually just carries them like in their backpack, and they have like a little sign that like tells you that they have them. But that's so far. Like there's a lot of people at the protest that have them, which is really nice. It's really nice because then it feels more like a community because everyone's like helping each other out.
These care packages are one way protesters are expressing solidarity with each other, no matter their circumstance.
Especially for those people that are not capable of actually protesting, it gives them a way to like support.
For people who cannot hit the streets to protest because they have underlying health conditions and concerns over COVID-19, this is a way they can still show support. Donating masks and other essentials like bottled water or hand sanitizer makes them feel involved.
There's definitely a culture of like, okay, like we're here for this cause, but also like we're here for each other too, and want to make sure everybody is doing okay and everyone is staying safe and everyone is healthy.
Please, mask up. Thank you. Thank you. Want some water? Water for now.
In Phoenix, Abigail Verwick, Cronkite News.
Right now, a high pollution advisory is in effect for the valley. That means people should limit their outdoor activity for the day, especially those with respiratory issues. The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality is also asking that you drive as little as possible to fight the high levels of pollution. Several professional athletes have used their platform to find success on YouTube or Twitch, whether it's Devin Booker playing Call of Duty or Blake Snell playing MLB The Show. Cronkite News reporter Sam Brennan talked with one professional baseball player who found a new niche.
Former Arizona Diamondbacks minor leaguer Alex King first got into streaming video games during his senior year of college. When he got drafted in 2018, King began to incorporate baseball content into his streams.
Playing video games for a living sounds pretty legit, if you ask me. So, that kind of sparked it.
Motivated by his friend Mark Luino, a baseball YouTuber known as Giraffe Neck Mark, King branched out and started a YouTube channel in January. King's YouTube channel began like any other fledgling channel. A few views here, a few views there, until an idea came from Luino.
And I saw those videos were doing really well, and I was like, hey, maybe like you try like pro baseball player reacts to this, pro baseball player reacts to that, because there seems to be a market on there for YouTube.
So, King did a video reacting to the sport most similar to baseball, cricket.
That's nuts. He just smacked that.
And I was just scrolling through and I saw a guy, I don't even remember his name. So he was an Australian rugby fan reacting to American football. And I thought, why don't I do it with baseball? But instead of like a cricket person reacting to baseball, I would be the baseball person reacting to cricket.
King struck internet gold.
Like at the time it blew up. It was 30,000 views on one of the videos.
King had 30 times more views on his first cricket video than his previous videos on the channel. Luino has had success of his own on YouTube and shared a common strategy with King.
And I was like, make sure you keep doing this, because like when you find something that works, keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore on YouTube. That's kind of how it works.
King did just that. His next cricket video got up over 340,000 views. He continued to put out cricket reaction videos, racking up the views. King has nearly 2 million views across the 8 cricket-themed videos on his channel.
There's not a lot of videos on YouTube for cricket watchers and cricket fans to watch. And so this was a niche that was different. It was an American's perspective who doesn't know the sport.
37% of his 9,200 subscribers are from India. It's a demographic King did not expect to reach.
It's really their culture collabing with me as a content creator. They live, eat, and breathe cricket in India, and there's nothing more they want to do than be professional cricket players. And it's just really cool to reach across and hold hands with that community. It's just been so fun.
King says his viewers have helped him learn the game. They explain rules, players, and strategy to him all through YouTube comments.
I feel like I am on a level now with them that if I were to go to India to a cricket match, I wouldn't get killed, basically. I wouldn't get taken down or beat up for not knowing the game. Like I'd be able to hold my own, and a lot of them would probably recognize me as well.
Despite his success in cricket content, King recently said he will be moving away from cricket videos due to copyright restrictions on the sport. But he says he will continue his YouTube channel with baseball, sports, and other gaming content. Sam Brennan, Cronkite News.
Really is as good as it gets.
King's channel now has over 10,000 subscribers and can be found on YouTube under the name Rexy Bing. That's it for this edition of Cronkite News. For Arizona news updates throughout the day, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.